Tyler, I don't know about you, but I'm tired as hell. Worked my ass off all day. I'm sure you have too.
Uh-huh.
Now we got to do this fucking show.
Then let's do a fucking show!
Oh. Thanks for watching. I'm Chris. That's Tyler. That's Drake. We got an interesting show, Tyler.
Yep, it's over.
Basically. It's a little different. We're going to give the state of gaming address. Our state of the gaming address. I think it's important. E3's over, you know. Every bit of that news has kind of died down, so not a whole lot going on. So we're just going to talk how the industry is doing, and it's very good. Very good in a lot of areas. Not for Nintendo, but for anybody but Nintendo. So we'll start off. I got a couple stories here. For Xbox news, Xbox One sales have picked up since the launch of the Connectless bundle. No surprise. Xbox marketing director Harvey Eagle told Trusted Reviews that, quote, "Our momentum has really improved in the past weeks and months, and we're obviously really happy about that," end quote.
Obviously.
Not a surprise. We knew that was going to be a hit.
Oh, yeah.
People were actually waiting for Connectless Xbox One, so
Yeah.
no real surprise there. Anything else to add to that, or?
I don't have anything. Yeah, I mean, it was predicted.
Obvious.
It's like, they're obviously going to sell more after making that decision.
A price cut.
Because it's cheaper, and then people don't have a Kinect that they don't want.
Yeah. For the PlayStation news, Uncharted could potentially get remade on the PS4. Yoshida told Eurogamer that there have been several requests for remakes that have been released later in the generation, like Uncharted. He also noted that, quote, 50% of people who have purchased a PS4 didn't own a PS3. And that's a lot of people that missed out on exclusive PS3 titles like The Last of Us, end quote. It wasn't, in the Eurogamer article, it wasn't really, Yoshida didn't really clarify if this could potentially be the first Uncharted, or if they're just going to kind of bring them all over. Obviously, I hope they bring them all over. But it's kind of noticeable. I've played through Uncharted recently, and that game hasn't aged well. A lot of screen tearing. God, that game was... It's visually, it's not really that impressive, but I mean, that was that PS2 to PS3 leap that Naughty Dog apparently really struggled with. They've gone on record saying that. So, which, from the PS2 hardware to the complicated cell architecture, I understand that. Right. So, but anyhow, not really any clarification on that. Yoshida basically treated it as, oh, yeah, that'd be a good idea. So, hopefully that's a sign of things to come. A major milestone has been released in the PlayStation ecosystem. PS3, PS4, and Vita have sold over 1 million units. It's safe to assume that PS3 has sold over 80 million, Vita around 10 million, and PS4 around 8 million. And so now, Tyler, after those stories here, now we're just going to kind of go through the platforms and just kind of talk about them. Talk about their future, you know, their mishaps, what these companies need to do. And we start with the Wii U. Heading into E3 as the least excited for any Wii U games. But coming out, Nintendo has a lot to offer in the next coming year. You've got Devil's Third, that crazy action third-person shooter that just blew me away. Not the best graphics, but whatever. It's not a big concern for me. You've got Yoshi's Woolly World that just looks adorable, and innovative titles like Splatoon. Mario Kart's already out. They announced a new Zelda, which honestly I think is gonna divide up the Zelda fans again, just like Wind Waker and other Zelda titles in the past have. But I mean, overall, that console's got a lot of great things. And they're doing things that you wouldn't necessarily think Nintendo would do. Like Mario Maker. Never thought Nintendo would do that. You know? They just make another Mario. But here they're allowing people to design their own levels, which is really cool. To me, it seems like Nintendo's opening up, which is great. That's what they needed.
Very slowly.
Yeah, very slowly.
And it makes you want to say about time.
Yeah. I will say this, and they just need more. They need more third-party software.
Yeah,
on that platform. There's a petition online. Not a whole lot of people have signed it, but there's a petition online for Destiny to make its way over to the Wii U. And the thing is, you've got these dire Nintendo fans, and they want to play these other games on their console.
Yeah.
And the thing is, Nintendo's doing hardly anything about it. But their fans, what really gets me is their fans are out there, they're making these online petitions. Nintendo just sits back and, yeah, we'll make a cheap, shitty consoles that, I mean, let's face the fact, it only comes with a 32 gig hard drive. Are you kidding me?
Well, all they need to do is just have a more powerful console that would be able to hold these third-party games, that would be able to actually run it well, and the third-party developers are going to put it on that console. Like, Nintendo wouldn't even have to do anything. They would just know that if we put it on this console, we're going to sell more copies of our game. So, yeah, they would just do it if it wasn't such a downgrade to be able to put it on the Wii U.
Yeah, and think about it from our perspective. I mean, I'm deeply invested in the PlayStation ecosystem. You are with the Xbox.
Yep.
But the thing is, for all those other people,
well, it's so disappointing because if I was like Xbox, but all I had was exclusives, I'd be a little ticked off. I'm like, where's my third-party games? I mean, I can easily see how somebody feels that are huge into Nintendo and Nintendo products. I can see it. And they want to be able to play these third-party games, and they can't. I
will say this. If Sony, and I'm going out on a limb here, but I really think it's true, if Sony and Microsoft did what Nintendo did, they wouldn't last.
No.
The brands wouldn't last. Nintendo has such a strong first-party lineup that they can put it out. They can struggle and make ends meet.
Yeah.
And
just imagine what they would achieve if they had the third-party stuff too.
They would
probably be on top. Like,
it'd be the best-selling console for sure. So next generation, they really need to get their shit together, and it's going to be tough for them because they're going to almost have to skip 2 generations, into the future, because the Wii U's on par with the PS3 and Xbox 360.
Yeah,
hate to say it, but it is.
But heck, the way they're not even on the same timetable, so they could come out next year with a new console and then be on par with our Xbox One and PS4.
They could.
I hope
but I hope they don't do that. But no, definitely coming out of E3, that a lot of cool stuff come to that system. Definitely got to give them credit. Here we have VG charts numbers. We know they're not accurate, okay, but they give you an idea. All right, it's not to a T, but they do give you an idea. 6.5 million Wii U's. Yeah, I mean, it had a head start on the Xbox One and PS4, and they just simply did nothing with it. Granted, the console apparently increased its sales by 110% after Mario Kart 8 was released. So we'll see if that number continues to rise, but I'm guessing it'll kind of slow down here. Next up, the Xbox One. Right now, VG chart says 4.8 million. I think that's low. I'm sure it's well over 5 million, to be honest with you.
At least now, because
I just don't believe that number. So, over 5 million. What do you think? I mean, it's what. I mean, it started out as bad as you could have, and they've bounced back to this, which is just really phenomenal as far as I'm concerned. You've got your big exclusives. You'll probably see a huge increase in Xbox One sales when Halo Guardians, when that comes around.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely. Other than that, I've been amazed with with all the support they've been getting from other developers, like for instance, Insomniac, going over there and creating. Oh gosh, you gotta help me on this title, Tyler. I'm just totally blank.
I'm not gonna be able to help you. I don't know either.
Gosh, it's the one I'm looking forward to. Same release day as Assassin's Creed Unity. Help me out. I told you gotta get this game instead. It's the crazy bizarre shooter. Remember at E3 they open up with the soldier, but it's not really him. It's this apocalypse deal. Good
Sunset
Lord.
Overdrive.
Sunset Overdrive. That's the name. Yeah, games like that, awesome. I want an Xbox One just for that game. But
so get one.
I might do that. PS4, 8.3 million. That's probably about right. It could be more than that by now, but honestly, Sony, they did such a great job out of the gate. And I just hope they can continue, keeping everybody psyched, because they're exclusives.
You could easily over the next 6 months to a year, you could easily see a flip flop with Xbox One skyrocketing, PS4 kind of like leveling off, and then they kind of end around the same place. I could easily see that.
Oh yeah, and the thing is, Sony, was kind of praised, and I praised them too for all their first party exclusives, but there hasn't been a whole lot, Tyler, that's came out for this console, and that needs to change quick.
Yeah.
And whether we'll see at Gamescom, whether we'll see a new God of War, and Media Molecules game, I don't know. I hope we do, because that console needs some more stuff. 3DS. 43.5 million units sold. That was the 3DS, and I will say this. It was in the same boat as the Wii U was. Wasn't selling worth shit. And got some software over there that people really liked, and skyrocketed the sales went. I don't fucking know what I'm saying right now. And I think actually there was I think Mario Kart 7. I think that kind of kickstarted that console. And you had games like Animal Crossing that people really got into, and then the Pokemon games. Just that console's really done well. But I will note it is nowhere near the 154 million units sold that the DS had. So I don't know if it'll ever get to that number. Definitely doesn't look like it, because the 3DS has been out for a while.
Yep.
The PlayStation Vita in worse shape, Tyler. 8.5 million units. Oh gosh. I wonder what the PSP sold. PSP was a pretty big hit. It's saying here 80 million. Almost 81 million. So, yeah. Well behind. And the thing is, with these handhelds, tablets, phones, that's what's taking their place. So, honestly, will we see another PlayStation Portable console? I doubt it. Nintendo might try to, keep doing the same stuff, but I don't think Sony will. I don't think they'll waste their time. Multiplayer gaming. Tyler, this was the theme of E3. We saw these huge multiplayer games like Destiny, The Division, the new Rainbow Six game. Our thoughts.
Everything else, maybe like single player game, but then they add in 4-player co-op. You've got
Unity.
You've got Evolve, which is primarily just 5 people, 4v1. You've got Assassin's Creed Unity, 4-player on there. You've got everything else. Nice.
I dribbled on myself.
Yep.
We're professional here on the big show, Tyler.
All the time.
Everybody knows that.
All the time.
Well, now that I'm wet.
Then the party can start.
Wow! Yeah. I hate it. And, you know, I will see...
You hate being wet or you hate the multiplayer
Oh, I
gaming?
love being wet, Tyler. It's my favorite thing in the world. But multiplayer gaming, we'll see. If I can play Destiny, and we'll find out July 17th, because it says in the beta trailer that we'll be able to try out the campaign.
Yep.
I'll find out. So, I
will say this. I like the idea.
He likes it. Like that.
I would like a lot of like really fun games that I've played throughout history, like on the 360, be single player only. I'd be like, I really wish I could play this with somebody. Like I have had that feeling. So if they had that where it was like, oh yeah, we have a co-op ability. But the problem that developers are having now is like they're basing it on that. So either you're not going to be able to play it by yourself, or at least not well, or you're going to have basically two different kind of games where it's like, here's going to be your single player story, and this is how you play it single player. But then if you have a completely different experience multiplayer wise, and you're going to have different missions, like Assassin's Creed will probably have this problem, where there'll be certain missions where you can't do it by yourself. And there'll be certain missions where you probably can't do it with somebody. If they can somehow manage to do it so it works perfectly fine both ways, awesome. But I can't really see it.
Here's why I say co-op fucks everything up. Because if a developer is told this is a co-op game, okay, somebody's got to play with you at all times. That does change the narrative.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying.
And usually for the worse. Yeah. So I can't support it. And until I'm proven otherwise, I'll have that stance. So hopefully
Destiny seems like the one out of all of them that might be able to pull it off, where you could do it either or. Like The Division seems more like just a big MMO to me, that it's like if you tried to do it by yourself, it's just not going to be as fun. You're going to need a couple people to play with you.
I will say I was thinking about this, and I was like, Destiny. So I'm playing through the single player missions, you know, by myself. But then I get into this open area, and then I see all these people, and it's like, that could potentially enhance, you know, that experience, because it's like, whoa, this is actually a world. There are a shit ton of people here, you know, and stuff like that.
Right. And then you turn around, and when that whole thing's done, you go off by yourself again. Perfectly fine. And then on the flip side, if we had the same console, we could actually both, like, you could be playing by yourself and be like, hey, like, mind if I join? I could join in and then be fine and then leave, and you can still do it by yourself, or you could do it. That's probably the only game that'll actually be able to pull it off. Mm-hmm. And I mean, I can see Bungie being able to pull it off, because I think they've had this idea in their minds for God knows how long.
Oh, yeah.
And so,
by the way, Tyler, it's important that we introduce this hashtag. Hashtag cross-platform multiplayer.
We've said it before. We gotta say it again. Hashtag cross-platform multiplayer. And none of this tablet to console shit. That's not cross-platform.
Sorry. We'll go ahead and talk about this now, because this is something that we both agree needs to happen. And we were talking the other day, and I mentioned that maybe the only way this could potentially work is if a third-party company came in and said to the boys at Sony, hey, get your shit together, all right? And we will facilitate everything on Microsoft's side.
Yep.
Okay? Just cooperate with us, okay? And we'll cooperate with them, and we'll make everything work.
Mm-hmm.
And if they could, you know, just independently work work with the two sides and somehow get something. Obviously, I don't know the ins and outs of it, but I think that would be the only way.
Oh yeah, and of course you're gonna have things like the first few games will probably not work very well. You're gonna have this trial error thing because it's uncharted territory. Uncharted. But it just needs to happen, and I cannot actually see how this would hurt a single company. I think it would help all of them. Because not having certain games or not having something is not going to make me go buy a PlayStation 4. I'm not going to spend the money because I want to play all of my games on the Xbox. Like, even if it's like, oh, these few exclusives, I'll go buy it. Like, you're still going to have that problem because the only thing this is going to affect is third-party games.
Here's what I want to nip in the ass before we get any further into this conversation. The one argument I could hear the Sony execs making is, but what about all the people that transfer over to our console because their friends are on it? So therefore, we might lose those people if there is a cross-platform multiplayer, I guess ecosystem out there.
Isn't everybody already done that?
How about on the flip side? Xbox would be doing. Their execs would say the same thing.
Yeah.
And it's like you wouldn't have that. I don't think it'd make a bit of difference.
Your exclusives, which is supposed to be like the number one thing that's going to pull somebody to your console. The exclusives, your PlayStation Plus benefits, or my Xbox Live Gold benefits. Those things, the different ecosystems, are what's going to pull somebody over. Because, Chandler has an Xbox One, but he never really plays. So then it's just kind of like a one-on-one thing, but it's like, okay, say I make a brand new friend and he's huge into PlayStation. I'm still not going to go and buy a PlayStation 4 just to be able to play with you two because I am...
Because you're an ass, Tyler.
Exactly. No. I am stuck into the Microsoft ecosystem. I like Microsoft. I like Xbox.
I don't know why, but...
Well, why do you like PlayStation? See?
Because I can pre-order games, Tyler.
Boom! Yeah, it's coming. It's coming. But no, I think it would help all the companies, like especially like third-party developers, because then they could have this, and you could have... you're going to have more sales. You're going to have happier gamers.
Oh, yeah. Everybody in the gaming community would love that.
You're still going to have your exclusives on each console and things, and that's going to pull somebody towards a console or away, or either way. And so, yeah, they might make that argument, but honestly, I don't see how that's a strong argument because that is a very, very, very small percentage of the gaming population that would actually do that.
But
years down the road, what
other argument are they going to make? There is none.
Oh, it's not possible, or it's too hard, the technology. Come on. Everything is routed through a server. The thing is, they did it before. They've done it to I think it was the 360 to a PC. I think it was on Shadowrun. I think actually had cross-platform gaming on it. And if you're routing it to a PC, you can route it to a PlayStation because, well, the Xbox One's a PC now.
Well, yeah, and now it should be easier than ever, right? We got similar architectures, and
yeah,
I'm assuming
just do it.
Yeah,
make us happy.
Yeah,
make me glad to give you my money,
because he'll give it to you.
Yeah,
rough.
Yep.
Just wanted to point that out.
Yeah.
Virtual reality, Tyler. We've got that there. Oculus, Project Morpheus.
I still really haven't seen anything that's like giving me a wow factor after the initial reveal of this stuff. The initial reveal of it, it's like, oh my gosh, they actually created this, and now it's like, what would I do with it?
3 years later,
yeah,
we still don't have a product out on the shelves.
So until I see something like revolutionary, where it's like, okay, I'm gonna shell out the however much money it is, $300. How much are they? I don't even know.
I don't think there's a set price. That's the thing.
But see, I mean, I would have no real reason to do it unless you can turn around and I can play like Halo through virtual reality, but you'd have to completely redo the game to make it work that way.
I like what Shuhei Yoshida said. If a game's going to be made for virtual reality, it's got to be developed from the ground up
For it.
There's no other way. And it's not like Uncharted 3, looking at my collector's edition box. It's not like Uncharted 3 where you can shoehorn in 3D, okay? No. That's not going to work with this. So
no. I mean, you could take a game that you created for the consoles and then remake it for virtual reality, but you're going to have to start from the ground up and remake it. I mean, you might still have the same art and the same story and all this stuff, so that's a lot of work, but you're going to have to make everything for the different screens on the different eyes. And
Uncharted 3 is a bad example, but any first-person shooter. Let's say
shooter.
they tried to shoehorn that in. It's not going to work.
If I could play Halo, if it was good and worked really well and they made it from the ground up, if I could play Halo in virtual reality, I very well might buy one just to be able to do it. Because that would be cool.
It's one of those things I think we have to experience.
Yeah.
To really grasp what it is and how cool it is.
But right now, it's like, that would just be a big waste of money for me because anything they've showed me to, say, substance-wise, like software, it's like, I don't care.
What's there in the software front? There is nothing.
No.
E-Valkyrie looks cool. I wouldn't play that hardly at all.
So, I mean,
just facing the facts.
Maybe it'll get some traction. You get a company that's like, hey, look at this game. And then it's like a hardcore first-person shooter built from the ground up for virtual reality headset. And then it's like, kickstarts the virtual reality gaming genre.
Yeah.
But until then, like, I don't know.
Yeah. It's going to be tough sledding. Definitely. Just the future of gaming in general, Tyler. We've kind of talked about some, issues that have been brought up, but
consoles aren't dead.
Yes, that is for sure.
That's summed up right there.
That is for sure. They've sold out the fastest selling consoles yet. At this rate, the PS4 is going to go well over 100 million, units, and that's incredible. Whether they'll keep up or not, I don't know, but definitely mobile gaming.
It's got its own audience.
No,
but it doesn't have me. I mean, there's a lot more people out there like me and you that's like, yeah, okay, you can play some of these mobile games like when you're waiting on something and you're bored, but to actually play something, it's got to be on a console or on a PC.
Well, but then you got these dumbasses out here that say, oh, well, but look at these NVIDIA chips they're putting in the phones now. And it's like, well, there's still shitty control schemes, Let's face it.
Give me a controller, allow me to connect that to my phone, and then wirelessly link my phone up to my TV. Done. I'll play through my phone, but that's not going to happen.
Just give me a fucking console. And that brings me to my next thing that I want to point out. PlayStation Now. We talked about this a couple weeks ago. Pricing model's disastrous as it stands now, but that's probably going to be the future of gaming, a service type of deal. Because as internet connections get better, we don't need that powerful hardware. That powerful hardware can be in a server farm somewhere. Yep. And apparently as low latency as, IGN was experiencing, which granted IGN's probably got really great internet.
Probably.
But the thing is, you just think 10, 20 years down the road,
at least
going to be mainstream, and that's when we'll see that as a viable option. And I think it's coming quicker than people expect. And that's why for all the PC people that say that, hardware is awesome, and there is hardly any latency, but guess what? Over time, that'll be the way. Won't have to own hardly any powerful hardware.
Yeah, because
run.
then you got the company who has the server. They can upgrade that anytime they want to. They're not going to have to go through the whole system and be like, oh, we're going to make everybody buy new hardware and go through this whole like console selling thing.
And it opens up a lot of cool cool options because Sony Bravia TVs, new ones, they're already preloaded with the PlayStation Now, and that's awesome. Yeah. All you need is your TV.
All you need is your TV.
And I guarantee you that'll be a thing years down the road. I mean, we'll probably go through another console by then. But just saying,
but eventually,
probably the way it'll go.
But that is one of the things that for it to get more and more popular, it's all about the internet service.
Yeah.
Throughout the country and worldwide. I mean, as that improves, then you can see this more and more. But until that's actually stable and fast enough, it's just going to be slow growing.
Worldwide is a huge issue.
Oh,
I
mean,
yeah. God, it's a
I could see that. I could see America going through that, leading into it. But worldwide, you're still going to have these hardware things, so it's going to kind of be just another option for a while, like how PlayStation Now is like the older games, the past stuff. It's not brand new.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, I could see that being for a long time, and then all of a sudden they're like, oh, we'll just start putting new games on it just because it's big enough now.
Yeah. Definitely. And like we said earlier with the handheld stuff, I think that'll really die because phones and tablets, I'll give them this. They'll take the handheld gaming market. That's been there for years, with the Game Boy, the DS, the PlayStation Portable. They'll take that. Other than that,
random thought would be
random.
Like with PlayStation Now, it's like if you made that work like really well and seamlessly with like your Vita, then you could actually play your PlayStation Now through your Vita anywhere if you had a fast enough wireless cellular connection.
Yeah, that's really a cool thought. Yeah, definitely.
Because then it's like, I mean, I'm just thinking like the only reason like I would really enjoy it is something they actually don't have yet, where I could just like walk into a room, like seamlessly link it up to the console, start playing it on the console, pause the console or whatever, and then just pick it up on the portable device if I had to go somewhere and I was just riding in the car. Just do it like that. But I mean, until that, like, there's not that seamless connection thing. Right now, it's still two different games. Yeah, you can sync things up to each other, but it's not just
it's a disconnect.
It is a disconnect. So if they made it seamless, then it's just like another extension to the console where it's like, I want this because I want this option. But unless they come up with that, yeah, handheld's probably not gonna be that important.
No, probably not. And then, virtual reality, I just don't think it'll pick up steam, but who knows?
You never know. That one company, that's all they need. One company to come and just, here's your game, to just give it a kickstart out the gate. But right now, it's just kind of like standing in the gate. It's like, I don't know what to do, because it doesn't have anything. It's just a cool idea. The technology is there, but they just don't seem to know what to do with it.
Just fucking release something already. Jesus Christ. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, they're just trying to make it well known, but it's like, I heard about it 3 years ago. Now it's like, oh yeah, that exists.
But they keep on improving stuff, and it's like, oh yeah, well, guess what? If anything electronic-wise did that, they'd never come out with anything. No. Come out with something already. Your top sellers, game-wise. PlayStation Vita, Freedom Wars. Now that's a shocker. 189,000 units. Wow. Next in line, PS4 Watch Dogs, 123,000 units. Wii U Mario Kart 8, 114,000. EA Sports UFC, 92,000. And PS3 Watch Dogs, 73,000. So, some interesting stuff there, I thought. Oh, and also, PlayStation 4 is currently on top of the 3DS in sales right now. These were, let's see. I think this is a weekly number here, 104,000 for the PS4, and 3DS was selling around 100,000. So good stuff. On the Xbox One, 65,000 worldwide. But yeah, I mean, clearly the PS4 is selling better.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no doubt about it.
But we knew that last year at E3.
Yeah, we did.
We're like, okay, problem.
And here's what people are excited for, Tyler. I went and looked at the pre-order chart here.
Yep.
Destiny for PlayStation 4, 411,000 people have pre-ordered that. Xbox One, 317,000. 360, 131,000 people have pre-ordered Destiny. And then comes the Order 1886, which I'm glad to see. 130,000 people have pre-ordered that. And then Dying Light, your top 5, coming in at 92,000 pre-orders. Very, very cool stuff. Those numbers are just phenomenal, pre-order wise.
Oh yeah.
And with Watch Dogs, I heard the other day I heard Watch Dogs sold over 8 million units.
One thing,
games are being sold, and there's a lot of money being made in video games right now, and that's great.
On the PS4 digitally, you can pre-order Destiny.
Yes, you can.
Yeah. Xbox One, you can't. So
yeah, these
that
are all,
that 317,000 is all hard copies on the Xbox One. So either that just shows that many people just don't care to go digital on Xbox One, or maybe there's a lot of people that'll still...
They don't have the option. See, I
mean, they just don't have the option, so maybe they're wanting these pre-order bonuses and things, so then they're just going ahead and like, all right, hard copy. But I'm sure that I'm not the only one who's like, oh, screw it, I'm just not going to pre-order the game, I'll just buy it when it
comes out. Digitally.
Yeah, but, so, I mean, something to keep in mind is like that could be a little bit like
could be
numbers
factoring
are difference, yeah.
It could be. I really don't have anything else here. Any last thoughts?
I watched the RTX Halo panel just earlier today, and pretty cool stuff. I mean, it's about an hour-long YouTube video to actually watch them, and they talk most of the time. But they do have a nice demo on there about what they're talking about what they've changed and things. And it's really interesting.
So they are specifically talking about the Halo 2.
Okay. All they did was talk about the Master Chief Collection.
Okay.
That was the entire purpose. That's what they did. I think last year it was all about Spartan Assault. I didn't really give a crap about that game. So, but no, they're doing definitely doing some interesting stuff and answered some questions.
I'm sorry, that registered late. Spartan Assault? They got all pumped for Spartan Assault?
Like, their RTX panel was all about that.
Okay.
So, they didn't really have anything else to talk about last year. So.
That's true.
So, yeah.
But
sucked. No, if you're interested, at least try to look that up.
Yeah. I've got something else to add. Tyler, I have a game. Ah, fuck it. I can't get to it.
You have a game.
I have a game.
That is surprising.
Called NASCAR 14. And Utechnics is the developer. New publisher this year, Deep Silver. This game was released in February, right around the Daytona 500. And it had issues. Single player has issues. Multiplayer definitely has issues. And this is their third release of a NASCAR game. And so the first couple of games, I kind of was like, all right, I understand that this is new. I get it. Okay? You're not going to get it right your first couple of times. But it's starting to get pretty old. You've worked with the PS3 and Xbox 360, ever since you started up in 2011.
Yeah.
And the fact that the game is as shitty as it is just a disgrace to any NASCAR gamer out there. And granted, I don't play a whole lot because the game's shit. Utter shit. And so they've said ever since March that this update's coming. And I mean, it's coming real soon. And you're going to get all different paint schemes. And we're going to fix all the bugs we got. This update finally came out last week.
Yeah.
I can't race by myself now in single player mode at all. I can't. It freezes at the start.
Wow.
So let me get this straight here. I bought a game early this year. I finally got an update half a year later, basically. And now the update has bricked my console. And this is your third game, your third try at it. Something is wrong. And I'll tell you right now, I am not, at all costs, I'm not buying that next NASCAR game. And I hope Technics dies. Because that's a shitty way to treat your customers. And I know I'm sure they've been working hard at it, but I'm tired of all the bullshit where they're like, oh yeah, well, we've had this update ready, but, we have to send it to Sony and Microsoft for approval. I have never heard once a developer bitch about that. And if that is the process, that's the way it is. Everybody has to deal with it. But guess what? Yeah. People come out with updates all the fucking time for games. And to say that you can't do it? No. Get your shit together. And if you're going to release a game, make sure it's fucking right.
There's a common theme around developers and things with a name that has U in it. U Technics, Wii U, Ubisoft. Common theme. Do you love how that's what I pulled out of that whole rant?
No, it's just ridiculous.
That is bad.
It's
that is
2014,
awful.
And we can't update a game correctly. Never seen it. That's all I got.
That's all I got.
That's Tyler. That's Drake. I'm Chris. Thanks for watching. VGNow, I think it's the Big Show episode 5, Tyler. So we're
5?
booking. I think so.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is 5.
Yeah, yep. 5! Woo!
$5 foot long.
$5 foot long.
Thanks again for watching, and take a look at our other videos, the Towerfall videos,
Assassin's Creed videos
too. So yeah, lots of cool stuff on the channel. Thanks for supporting us.